Hello and welcome to Pitt Street Research. My name is Stuart Roberts and I'm one of the founders of our firm. And with me all the way from Hong Kong is Jimmie Wong. Jimmie, welcome.
Good morning.
To Pitt Street Research.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah. And we interviewed Jimmie about a year ago. Jimmie's the founder and chief executive of Credit Intelligence, Hong Kong's leading provider of debt management services, rapidly expanding to other regions, publicly traded on ASX. Jimmie, it's been a great year for you.
Yes.
And it's going to get even better. Times are tough in Hong Kong, and when times are tough, you do well. Talk to us about your business and why you're set to do quite well now in an environment where the economic situation of Hong Kong is a little uncertain.
Yes, sure. I'm sorry to say this. If the economy go worse, our business could be better.
Right.
So it's our business structure. So we're the biggest debt restructuring company and bankruptcy management company in Hong Kong since 2002.
Right.
So we handle a lot of cases for Hong Kong people who wants debt restructuring to avoid bankruptcy, or for cases who are declared bankrupt. We were appointed by the banking sectors in Hong Kong to manage the bankruptcy cases. So we have steady number of cases in the past years since 2002. Mm-hmm. But I expect in 2020 this year and for the coming months, we will probably have more cases to handle because of the protests in Hong Kong, which is going on for the last 6 months and has not stopped. And the Wuhan virus crisis, it will hit Hong Kong economy a lot, and the effects are already seen. Many closures have to stop, many restaurants have to stop business, and many hotels will have a big cut in the number of customers. Even some hotels are asked to stop operation because of the virus infection. And the hotel and the airlines, they are badly hit. Some airlines staff, they are told to have no pay leave already. They have a low pay leave 3 weeks for 4 weeks salary. I don't think they can survive. For some workers in the retail industry, many shops are closed already. I think some layoff of staff will happen very soon.
Sure. Now, when that kind of thing happens, Hong Kong's property market suffers. We were talking before we started rolling about the experience 1997 to about 2003. There was a 70% downswing in typical property prices across the special administrative region. Are you expecting a similar kind of outcome this time around?
I think this time the pressure in Hong Kong property prices can be worse because of the protest effect and the serious consequences of the virus. And I see there is a downturn in the property prices already. There is a fall in price in the latest transactions because people, they want to get cash from selling their properties. But I don't think this is the best time to sell now because more people will be selling. And if more people are eager or anxious or even scared to cash back their money from the property market, there will be big pressure on the prices. And I see the latest transaction, some price had dropped 20% already.
Right.
And if the situation in Hong Kong is going to be worse or still worse than today, I expect the fall in property prices can be more serious. Right. And I expect the fall can go to 50% or more from the peak prices in 2019.
Okay, so you've already had a pretty good year. January the 20th, you notified the ASX that you expected that Credit Intelligence would enjoy about 1.2 million in NPAT from about 5.3 million in revenue. And that was pretty much a doubling from what you'd achieved the previous year. So even before this trouble started, you were on a growth spurt in the region. You've got investments now in Singapore. You're moving to Australia in a big way. What's the next year hold for you in terms of your expansion?
So I think there should be a big room for expansion for CI1 in 2020 in the years ahead. So I would like to explain on this occasion why our profit rose a lot as compared from the 2019. In fact, our company have good revenue in Hong Kong for so many years. Right. We are rising revenue in the last few years. We have more cases appointed by the banking sector in Hong Kong for our bankruptcy cases. Right. Our profit was very low in the previous 2 years because of our listing expenses in ASX. And we spent some money on the acquisition of two Singapore lending companies.
Right.
So we used money to pay the commission for the deal, and we paid some of the consideration by cash. So our reported profit and our dividend in the last 2 years was not so high as compared with coming years.
Right.
We have a dividend in the first year. We pay about more than 1 million Australian dollars and half a million Australian dollars in 2019. So we try to pay dividend in 2 consecutive years after our ASX listing. It doesn't mean our revenue in Hong Kong is bad. Because of the listing expenses, our reported profit and dividend declare was lower than our true profit. But for the last 6 months, we don't have this extraordinary and non-recurrent expenses, so our profit will be truly reflected. So in the half-year result released already, so our reported profit for the half year is about 1.3 million Australian dollars, which is even better than our announcement figure on the 20th of January.
Right.
I think it's a good sign to the market that we are improving our performance in our reported profit.
So one of the impressive aspects of your business is the technology that you've built behind credit intelligence. Talk to us about how the app that you introduced last year has been a great productivity booster to what you do.
I think the app we try to build in 2021 now will be very useful in our future business in Hong Kong or even in other parts of the world, because it will save a lot of manpower to use email or even telephone to communicate with the people in trouble,
Right.
whether they are debt restructuring or they are people who are bankrupt. So we can offer 24-hour service by using the app to communicate with them. They send their information, their income proof by photo shot to us by using the mobile phone they're using. And our staff can take record of every messages or every document or every photo shot they send to us. I think it will be very effective as a fintech instrument,
right,
to expand our business for the personal debt restructuring business. For Singapore business, we are in the lending business. The business is still very good, and they perform better than our expectation. So we have a profit guarantee in the Singapore deal. I think it's very likely they can meet the target, or even they can perform better than the profit guaranteed under the agreement. So for the Australian market, we expect the economy in Australia will be also hit by the trade war between China and USA, and the coronavirus will also hit the Australian economy, in addition to the bushfire effect. And because our business in the sector of personal debt management, we will try to offer our service in Australia as soon as possible. We will try to line up or even acquiring a debt management business or a loan broker business in Australia very soon, so that we can expand our services to Australian market in 2020.
So there's a lot going on at Credit Intelligence. Are you pleased with the way you've executed since you went public on ASX last year?
I think we have a very good growth record. We have a good growth in Hong Kong business, and we see a great potential to expand our business in Hong Kong because of the crisis caused by the protests and the virus. And in Singapore, we have good growth in the lending business. I think more people will need lending to solve their short-term debt problem. And Australia, I think if we can start the business in Australia very soon, there's a great demand for the personal debt services in Australia. I am very confident that CI1 could have a market share, a fair market share in Australian market very soon in 2020. And I'm also very pleased to announce that we will have the new director, Mr. Mark Payton, who is an experienced banker in the Sydney financial market, who will join our listed company as executive director to replace Mel Aston, our old director in the past 2 years. I think Mr. Mark Payton will be very useful asset to CI1 because he has a long-term experience in working with the two major banks in Australia. and he will assist CI1 to expand our business in Australia, and by assisting us to do good fundraising for our expansion plans in Australia in the coming years.
Okay. Jimmie Wong, it's going great on all fronts. Good luck for 2020.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming to Pitt Street Research.
Thank you.